You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowing like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look up the better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the third part of What If Naruto Meets Flash? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of pyrohelixdrago on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Few minutes later. Cisco said as he saw a robot fox in the cortex and Naruto looking wounded before it. He needs help. Superman said as he walked in with the two bats. Caitlin. Cisco said freaking out a little seeing Batman and Superman and was worried for his friend's life. Caitlin came in and was shocked by who she saw but was frozen when she saw the state Naruto was in. Get him to the med lab, she said as Superman quickly but carefully picked him up and put him on the bed. The robot fox did a quick scan and looked at Caitlin. I detect heavy amounts of poison and major internal bleeding and swelling in certain areas reducing BLD flow calculated chances of death 62%, it said. Why isn't he healing fast enough? Cisco asked in panic. Reduced BLD flow. His BLD can't work as fast to heal, Caitlin said in panic not liking the odds they were told. God, Cisco come on I need help, she said screaming in panic as she couldn't go through this again. I can use my X-ray vision to help assist, Superman said offering as he knew a few advanced surgeries and had much precision. He'll live, I know he will, he has to. Said Nissa appearing with the bats who weren't freaked out by her sudden appearance. And if he doesn't we all die anyway, she said as Kushina would very likely kill them all. Let me through, that's my baby. Kushina said coming in with Minato. We really need to close that DMN hole, Cisco said as people kept coming through it even though Naruto was fixing it he was still making repairs. Chances of death increased by 5%, the robot fox said as it did periodic scans. No, please someone do something. Kushina said beggingly. Maybe I can. Minato said as his powers were energy-based he might be able to transfer energy into Naruto. What is he talking about? Cisco asked. Later, now move. Minato said going next to his son and raising his hands before they glowed yellow as he closed his eyes. Please work, by God, please work, he said praying to whoever was listening. What the hell? Cisco said as he and Caitlin were surprised. Minato's yellow energy began to turn green as it came out as a light shining onto Naruto. Chances of death decreased by 50%, the robot fox said as it did a scan. Good work honey, keep it up, just a little longer. Kushina said as she saw the bruises fade and the cuts heal and saw her son regain color. Decreasing by 0% chances of death. Yes, Batwoman said as did Nissa. Everyone let out one giant sigh of relief as they slumped. Naruto is out of the danger zone but he needs his rest. Emergency protocols shutting down, returning to rest mode, the robot said as it went into a corner and dropped its head shutting down. Can someone please now explain how two of my heroes, one of their sidekicks and a female version of the Arrow are here, Cisco asked as he was glad he kept spare clothing and stuff in his workspace. What did you call me? Batwoman said giving him a glare. I beg your pardon, Nissa said as she was nothing like Oliver Queen. I'll explain everything later, right now let's just breath. Kushina said as they watched Naruto rest. I was very afraid Kara might have killed me if I let him die. Superman said as he knew Naruto for years as he actually helped the Man of Steel a while back. I saw what happened on TV is Barry said as he sped into the cortex seeing two legends. Oh my god you're Batman and Superman, he said in excitement. And you're the Flash and he's Godspeed, Batwoman said a little angry she was not being mentioned. Hey, can I get you two to sign some stuff? Cisco said as he got some posters and t-shirts along with a Sharpie. They gave him a look and he backed off. Look, I know you're mad, I'm kinda the same as I didn't know about you guys. But if you're gonna be mad at someone, be mad at me. Barry said as he kept Naruto from telling anyone no matter how badly Naruto wanted to. We know that Gonzalez. Batwoman said as Naruto told her immediately. He did. Barry said in surprise. He knows Superman and Batman, dude, Cisco said as he looked at Naruto, who was still unconscious. Naruto never did like keeping secrets from his friends. Caitlin said as she knew Naruto was very honest but could keep a secret if needed to, though he hated it. And what's with the archer? Cisco asked looking at Nissa. League of Assassins, Batman said quickly. You know a certain member very well, don't you, Bruce? Batwoman said teasingly as the Dark Knight shot her a glare. Bruce? BB Bruce W. Wayne. Cisco said in surprise as the man took off his cowl. Well, if Naruto can trust you with his secret, we can trust you with ours. Batwoman said as he helped Lucius with certain designs for Batman's gear as he found out years ago. You must trust him very much. Barry said. We trust him with our very lives. Superman said with a smirk. So what's her story? Barry said looking at Nissa. I asked her to look after Naruto and protect him. When Sapphire was being targeted, I called them just in case we needed them. Kushina said as that surprised most the people there. You work for the League? Batman asked in surprise as that was new information to him. Worked for Bruce. She could have taken it over if she wanted. She has magical abilities, something she thinks Naruto might have. Magic can do pretty much anything. Nissa said as she was almost positive she'd kill her father. But because I haven't used them for so long, my magic is a bit on the rusty side. Kushina said. Why, you're Clark Kent? Caitlin asked as she read the Daily Planet as she was a Superman fan like Cisco and recognized the man. I can't believe I get to meet the two of you, I always looked up to you growing up. More Batman than you Supes, sorry. Barry said as he was a Batman fan. Oh man, the Arrow is gonna be so pissed, he said as Oliver thought the man was nothing but a myth. Why, does Oliver Queen think I'm a myth? Bruce asked with a smirk as he liked that some people still considered him a myth or a boogeyman. Never mind, forgot who I was talking to, the world's greatest detective. Barry said as he must have knew for a long time. Oliver Queen is the Arrow? Cisco asked his friend, who nodded. Caitlin walked over to the unconscious Naruto and held his hand. I almost lost you, she thought as her heart ached in pain seeing Naruto so close to death. Can I ask what's with this guy? Cisco asked as the robot fox stood still. He looks like he's made from the same tech inside Kurama, he said as he recognized it. That's our handiwork. Project MNMA, that's Mechanical Interactive Next Millennium Automaton. We made it in case something happened to us so Naruto would be safe when we were gone. Why's it like an anthro fox? Barry said, seeing it being like a humanoid-like fox. I based it off the legendary nine-tailed fox of legend. It's a legend that's big in my clan and back in Japan. Kushina said. I was thinking of transferring the AI into his Godspeed suit, she said as she was thinking of transferring the AI. It's awesome, like we're talking like this thing opening up. Like Iron Man? Cisco asked. It was designed to grow and learn to be a caretaker and friend for Naruto. Kushina said as she knew Naruto always drew in trouble. That's like having AI capable of emoting, like it gaining sentient intelligence. That is so cool. Wish I had parents like you. Cisco said as his parents were a pain as they obsessed over his brother. Everyone was alerted as they heard Naruto groaning and getting up. I swear I'm going in for round goddamn 2. Naruto said before groaning and laying back on the bed. Have you officially lost your mind? That thing almost killed you, Caitlin asked him as it was suicide. Yeah, well, what's stopping it from coming back and attacking here next? If something happened to you or Cisco. Naruto said as he got in his suit. Are you sure you want to do that? Batman asked as he had done something similar when Bane broke most of his bones. The robotic fox reactivated and grabbed Naruto. You still require 4 additional hours to rest and heal, I cannot allow you to go in your condition. It said, holding on to him and not letting him go. We agree with the robot, sit your butt back down, you're resting first, then we can worry about whatever that thing was. Kushina said angrily. What did I miss? Why the hell are they here? Naruto asked, looking at his team. Naruto, we have something to tell you. Minato said as he was tired of hiding the truth from his son as the robot put him back on the bed. You're a metahuman, I know that. Naruto said as he once caught his dad glowing. You knew? Kushina said, shocked. Did you know she was in the League of Assassins? Batman asked him curiously, highly doubting Naruto did. He was then punched by Kushina. Wait, what? Naruto said in surprise. I am also a mystic, I have magic powers. Kushina said as a golden chain shot out the ground. The universe has a messed up sense of humor, Naruto thought, as it was the same as his actual mother's chakra chains, magic. Why didn't you heal me with that? He asked them. I haven't used my magic in a long time, back in my prime I could give a lot of magic users of today runs for their money, but I'll have to start training again to reach that point again. Kushina said as she was in shape physically but not spiritually. Do I have magic powers? Naruto asked curiously. Of course you do, it runs in the family ever since our clan originated in Japan, you just haven't awakened it yet. Kushina said as for centuries Uzumaki has had magical powers as it's been passed down in their family. Okay, but I need to go, that thing said something, I think he's the one who took Sapphire. Naruto said, getting up, but the robot pushed him back into the bed. We know. Minato said. You what? Naruto said in surprise. We didn't know it was him, but we know where he has taken her, Minato said as he showed him her phone location. Naruto breathed to calm himself before he remembered what the monster said. Never take her from me again. Again, oh my god, I think I know who it is. Naruto said as he went to a computer. Rex Mason, he said as he recognized. That janitor that got sent to prison for stalking Sapphire. Kushina said as she saw the arrest on the news. Says here he broke out of prison a year ago but has been off the grid ever since, Barry said, reading the report of his breakout. Naruto began typing away on the computer, pulling up Stag Industries security footage and pulled up the night of the particle accelerator. What are you looking for? Cisco asked. A Stag Industries facility in Starling City, so he can't be a meta, he wasn't in Central City. Caitlin said. Yeah, but look. Naruto said as it showed Rex getting stuck inside some kind of room that got gassed with strange colored gas. Metamorpho, he said. Meta what? Caitlin asked, unaware of what that was. It's a chemical to make super soldiers, but I don't see how he survived. This stuff turns people into pure chaos, Naruto said as he was wondering how Rex survived. You'd be surprised what humans can endure. Bruce said as he had seen people survive things that guaranteed certain death. Superman put a hand to his ear. Sorry guys, volcano eruption in the Philippines, I gotta go. Oh, and Alex and Kara called, so they should be here later. He said before leaving to handle the volcano. I swear he's so cool. Cisco said, fawning over the man with much fanboyness. I'm gonna kill him. Naruto said as he was about to chase down Rex. But again the robot stopped him. Hold on, I'll make a call. Barry said as he knew Oliver could try and find him, or more likely Felicity. Can you please make him stop? Naruto said, referring to the robot. You require rest. As part of my programming I am to help you as a personal healthcare companion, the robot fox said as he pressed Naruto into his bed. You can blame your mother for that one, but he's right. Rest and heal, then we can worry about kicking this guy's butt. Minato said with a smirk. Your parents are badasses and awesome. Cisco said as they were kind and awesome. Gonna be one of those days. Naruto said, normally it's a chick keeping me in bed, never saw this coming, Naruto said with a smirk. Shut up and go to sleep before I put you to sleep. Caitlin said with a look. I have a substance that we can use. He would need to dash. It was a joke, robo dude. Cisco said as Caitlin wouldn't actually hurt Naruto and knew the sedatives the robot fox may have had wouldn't work. Oh. The robot said. Barry, what's this? Caitlin said as Iris posted something on her blog and the others look at Barry. Dude, you really need to organize and fix your life. Naruto said as this whole thing with Iris was sad to watch. Shut up and go to sleep already. Barry said, annoyed, before speeding off in his suit. We have to go, call us if that thing shows up again. Bruce said as he came to help Kate's boyfriend. I must go also. I will look for Ms. Stagg in Starling, if I find her I'll call. Nissa said as she didn't trust Oliver to get the job done. Naruto, seeing everything going on and not able to do anything, just chose to rest and heal. Few hours later. Naruto woke up to see Caitlin sleeping in a chair next to his bed. I've been so used to seeing you sleeping in the bed next to me. Naruto said with a smirk. Shut up. Caitlin said, rubbing the sleep out of her eyes and holding one of his hands. I'm sorry if I scared you, getting attacked like that. Naruto said as Caitlin held her friends as closely as he did. Naruto, this thing going on between us. Cisco told me something that made a lot of sense. I've been holding on to my feelings for Ronnie and you, and he's right, I can't keep both. Seeing you almost die. Caitlin said as she couldn't lose Naruto like she lost Ronnie. Hey, I'm still here. Naruto said, sitting up and putting a hand against her cheek. Caitlin pulled him into a nice gentle kiss, both enjoying the lips of the other. Then they placed their foreheads together. Cisco's right, I need to move on from Ronnie, otherwise I won't ever feel right again. Caitlin said as Naruto hugged her. I will always be here for you. Naruto said, being completely open with her. I know, I'll just have to get used to sharing you again. It's a Kodak moment. Cisco said, standing in the doorway getting their attention. Barry just went after Tony alone and I can't get him to answer, he said as Barry went after Tony alone after finding out Tony was at Jitters. God damn it, Barry. Help me into my suit. Naruto said as he was still sore, and don't pretend if Tony does show up again he won't kill you, he said as he knew. Caitlin was gonna argue. Just be sure to come back. Caitlin said, giving him a kiss for luck. Naruto quickly sped off and reappeared with a beaten and slightly bloody Barry. How do you keep getting your butt kicked? Naruto said as he carried Barry to a bed. Ow. Was all Barry could say. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? I told you that we would figure out a way to deal with him. Harrison said angrily. I heal quickly. Barry said sorely. You can't heal when you're dead, Harrison said seriously. I know, all right. I know. In the past 36 hours I've had my butt handed to me twice by the guy who tortured me as a kid. I couldn't stop him then, and I can't stop him now. Even with my powers, I'm still powerless against him. Barry said angrily. Not necessarily. Cisco. Harrison said as Cisco went to the computer. Any material, if struck at a high enough velocity, can be compromised. Something Naruto demonstrated with Cisco's thing earlier. Harrison said as he saw the footage of Naruto tearing apart Cisco's metal training dummy. We ran an analysis on the metal in Tony's footprint. Based on its density and atomic structure, if you impact it at just the right angle, at just the right speed, you could do some serious damage. Cisco said, sounding a little too excited. How fast are we talking here? Barry asked them curiously. Factoring in the metal's tensile strength, estimated dermal thickness, blah, 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 you'd have to hit him at approximately Mach 1.1. That's 377.3 miles per hour. Fastest he's ever gone is 332 miles, Naruto said as Barry was a little slow. You want him to hit something at 837 miles an hour? Caitlin asked Naruto. That's faster than the speed of sound. Caitlin said as she was still concerned even though Naruto could already do it. 377.3 Kate, Naruto said as those numbers went past Mach 2. I know, he'd make a sonic boom, which would be awesome. Cisco said as it was always cool to see. Naruto's right, I've never gone that fast before. Barry said as he knew it was a huge leap. Yet. HAREM said having complete faith and hoped Barry's adrenaline would help push him. I can't believe we're actually entertaining this idea. I mean, he'd need a straight shot from miles away. Caitlin said. Yeah, 5.3 miles. Theoretically. Cisco said as he calculated the distance. Do it right, you'll take him down. HAREM said with a look. Do it wrong, you'll shatter every bone in your body. Caitlin said as that was too much force the body could handle. I can relate to that. The bone-breaking thing. Naruto said as he just healed from his beatdown. I'm going to the CCPD, you want to come? Barry asked Naruto but then stopped as an alarm went off. Oh what if now, I just healed. Naruto said as they pulled up footage with Metamorpho outside. Oh come on. Cisco said. Okay Barry go be a man while I get some serious payback, Naruto said with a smirk as he was gonna get his wish. No. Caitlin said, grabbing his arm. You don't stand a chance against him, she said. How'd he even find us? HAREM asked curiously. Don't know Barry go the girl you like needs you, Naruto said as he ran off. How? It's not like he's going to let me by. Barry said as Metamorpho was like a combination of Tony, Weather Wizard, and the mist he was deadly. Kaylin he's after me. Naruto said. You didn't stand a chance at all last time. Caitlin said not wanting him to go. Naruto looked at the robot fox and smirked as an idea came to him. Outside. Namikaze. Come out, I know you're in there. Metamorpho said calling Naruto out. The doors opened and Metamorpho got blasted from them. Sorry, I had to put on a decent suit. Naruto said as his voice came from the mecha suit. You think wearing a tin can will save you? Metamorpho said letting out a laugh. Maybe, Naruto said as the suit launched fire from the mouth. Going to take more than that. Metamorpho said with a smirk. Good, because I have more, lots more, and I have friends. Naruto said with a SMRK. Genius idea with the microphone. Harrison said impressed as Cisco was controlling the robot using Naruto's voice as the real Naruto came in his Godspeed suit. Alright, you're free to go. Naruto said as he got Metamorpho away from the doors for Barry to go save Iris. Metamorpho growled before familiar objects exploded at his feet. Remember us, tall, dark and ugly? Batwoman said as she, Batman and Superman appeared. I thought they took off. Cisco asked. Kushina called them back and, convinced them to help, Hara-san said as she threatened them if they didn't help Naruto and he died so did they. I'm not stopping until that blonde boy is dead. Metamorpho said as he attacked. Superhero team up baby, and Barry's missing it. Cisco said as he knew his friend would be pissed. You're sick Mason, you need help. Superman said as he tried to defuse the situation. F off soups, Metamorpho said as he shined an emerald color. Probably needs more bombs thrown at him. Batwoman said as that was the only thing that had any effect. I have an idea. Naruto said as he thought back to Dr. Wells' talk on matter. Does it involve punching or zapping? Batwoman asked curiously. Zapping? That's it. Naruto said, please work, he thought. You think you can hurt me? Metamorpho said as he turned into metal. Talk about irony, Naruto said as he ran around Metamorpho. What is he doing? Caitlin said as Harrison took off his glasses. Is he? Cisco asked seeing the footage with pure excitement. Naruto shouted as he stopped and launched a bolt of lightning at Metamorpho making the Goliath scream in pain. He thunderbolted him, Cisco yelled in pure excitement. Remarkable. Harrison said as he didn't think Naruto could do that. Metamorpho groaned as he began to pick himself up. Was that supposed to stop me? He said as he twitched as white lightning sparked off him. No. He's supposed to stop you. Naruto said pointing behind him as Superman punched him in the face. Screw this, we'll fight again, PP head, Metamorpho said turning into clouds. Oh no you don't. Naruto said as he began running around the clouds. Batman looked up seeing lightning beginning to strike. I don't remember a storm being in for tonight's forecast. Batwoman said as they dodged. He can turn into clouds, how's that possible? Caitlin asked Dr. Wells. He's rearranging his molecules. Hara-san said as this was insane, Naruto's making his electricity travel up the tornado into the clouds above to bring down the energy in the city, he said impressed. He's going to blast the hell out of him. Cisco said in surprise. Metamorpho looked up seeing the white lightning traveling into a single point before a lightning bolt from the sky was brought down right onto him. Naruto panted, skidding into a stop as a groaning Metamorpho lay inside a crater. Now where is she, you twisted son of a beat? Naruto said picking up Metamorpho. You won't find her. Metamorpho said. Naruto got an alert on his phone. That says otherwise, friends of mine just found her. Naruto said as he ran Metamorpho to a cell and ran to Starling City. Is he running on water? Cisco asked as Naruto's signal was on top of the water. Our friend is running on water. Caitlin said never thought she'd see something so biblical. With Naruto, anything's possible. Harrison said as he was happy Naruto discovered this as it was simple. In Starling. I swear this SHT is being burned. Naruto said as he was in Starling City's Stag Industry Extension site where it handled minor research. Hello. Sapphire said screaming as she heard someone come in. Hey. Naruto said running in where he found her tied up to a bed. Please get me out of here. Sapphire begged. Naruto decided to take off his mask as he walked over. It's okay, I'm here now. He said freeing her limbs. Oh Naruto. Sapphire said before wrapping her arms around him sobbing. Guess I'm your hero in two ways now. Naruto said as he then ran her to STR Labs. Few hours. Consider all she's been through, I'll let this slide. Harrison said as Naruto brought Sapphire here to be checked out by Caitlin. He didn't touch you, did he? Naruto asked as he really. No, he wanted to kill you before he did that. Sapphire said as she was frightened he'd actually do it. Besides some malnutrition and slight dehydration she's okay. Caitlin said with a smile. What do we do with him? Cisco said as he was actually more afraid of him than the other prisoners as he could basically do anything. I got a few ideas. Naruto said angrily as he'd kill someone before he'd ever let them hurt his friends. Can't kill him, Hara-san said as he didn't even know it was possible. Well, we can't keep him here, once he finds out about Naruto being Godspeed we're dead, Cisco said grimly. I say blast him to pieces with radiation. Naruto said as he stole some of Rex's DNA and the only thing that was affecting his cells was radiation. I think I have a place we can put him. Superman said as criminal or not he wasn't going to let anyone die. Phantom Zone. Naruto asked him curiously as Clark only did that for emergencies, catch 22 since if he's released he'll be the same age as he left, he said as time didn't move in the Phantom Zone. He'll still be alive, just outside of this dimension. Better than the alternative. Superman said as that was the only alternative he had. Is there any way we can change him back? Caitlin asked wondering if it was possible. Nope, not unless we give him cancer dousing him in radiation, Naruto said as he was okay with that. So we have a way but it'll probably kill him, another way is locking him outside our dimension where time doesn't move. Cisco asked them getting nods. What else can we do? Where can we put him where he won't come back or be a danger to everyone? Batwoman asked. Well, we can't take him out of his cell in the pipeline, it's the only thing keeping him imprisoned. HAREM said as they pulled up the video feed. His molecules appear unstable, Caitlin said as she saw the cells of Rex's shake violently. I've seen something like this before. Batman said as he had seen Clayface have something similar as he became more and more crazy as he used his powers. He might kill himself the more he uses his powers, he said, as that was the reality and risk some people paid. So he'll die if he stays like this and die if we change him back. God, some things aren't easy. Naruto said with a sigh, yo jackass, quick question, do you want to keep using your powers if it means death, or want to be cured but very likely get cancer? He said as too much exposure to any radiation caused cancer and that was the amount needed to possibly cure him. What? What do you mean death? Rex asked in panic. The SHT you were exposed to never went to human trials, so keep using your powers, you die, we cure you, you die immediately or get cancer. You mean if I stay like this, I'll die? Rex asked in panic. Rex, I know you care about me and I am sorry that this happened to you because of my dad's formula, but I don't want to see you die. Sapphire said as she didn't want to see a man die even if said man threatened her and tried to kill Naruto. What do I have to do? What's the cure? Rex asked. Well, pure radiation, HAREM said as that was the only thing that affected the cells as they merely adapted to chemicals and other substances. Do it. Rex said desperately. I can't do this, I swore an oath, Caitlin said as she knew about radiation treatments for cancer, but it was basically a gray area. I don't care. Sapphire was the only person who was ever nice to me, everybody else walked all over me. But now I finally realize she'll never be able to return my feelings, but that doesn't mean there isn't someone out there for me. Besides, I'm going to die any other way. Rex said. Are we really buying this? Cisco asked as this sounded like it came out a movie. Maybe he's desperate, Bruce said as he had seen many desperate plays and when bad guys decided to do the right thing or be decent for once, but he still agreed with Cisco. Or maybe he's choosing to make himself suffer. Superman said as he had seen that one too many times. It's his choice, even though he's going to go back to prison, it's his choice to make. Barry said as he at least had that right. We'll begin immediately, HAREM said as his mind went to work. Can we go? I don't want to be here for that. Sapphire said as she. Sure, you can stay at my place, knowing my parents they've probably fixed it up. Naruto said as the hole Rex made was very large. Can I come too? Caitlin asked him. 15 minutes later. Naruto entered his apartment seeing it completely repaired and found Will on his couch. Will, what are you doing? Naruto said before Will kissed him on the lips. I thought I lost you. Will said as Naruto put his hands on her cheeks to wipe her tears. Really wanna kill Rex now? Naruto thought, hating the fact a person he loved was crying. I thought the same thing. Caitlin said. Guess having super healing has its perks. Will said with a smirk looking at Naruto. Oh please, you wake up and Godspeed shows up. I'm not dumb Naruto, besides you weren't the only one affected by the explosion. She said as she discovered her powers a few days ago and her hands tingled with lightning. When were you going to tell me? Naruto said, slightly mad Will kept her powers a secret from him. Probably when you tell me, or whenever I decided to mess with you about knowing, Will said with a smirk. Anyway, I can see you'll be busy, she said seeing Caitlin and Sapphire. I got work with my mom, have fun, she said with a smirk. Fun? Sapphire said before Caitlin surprised her by kissing her. Hope you're ready not to get any sleep. Because I've been looking forward to this for a month, Caitlin said as they went inside Naruto's bedroom. And ready for your holes to be stuffed and your stomach to be filled as well. She said as she began to take her clothes off and smiled in anticipation for what's about to happen. Caitlin walked over to Naruto and kissed him as Sapphire blushed. It's been a long time since we've done this, hasn't it, Saph? Naruto said as Sapphire used to join his romps with his other girls. Caitlin dragged her tongue down his chest as she kneeled in between his legs and fished out his member from his pants as she removed them as it dropped onto her face. Oh my god. Was the thought of the two women as they looked at Naruto's monster-sized PP. 16 inches long, and 5 inches thick. You've gotten bigger as have these. Caitlin said with a happy smile and slightly drooling as she felt his ball feel like softballs in her hands as before the accelerator. He was 12 inches long and 3 inches thick. Sapphire gulped being nervous, which Caitlin noticed as both women were in their bras and panties. Caitlin was wearing a navy blue BR and panties showing off her high C-cup melons, curvy body, and bubbly peach. While Sapphire was in green BR and panties revealing her mid-D-cup melons, curvy body, and round peach. Caitlin walked over to her and kissed her again, adding tongue this time. It's okay to be nervous, I know. She said as she helped Sapphire get their remaining clothes off, but get ready for the night of our lives. Caitlin said as SEC was more memorable with Naruto than how it was with Ronnie as he was very vanilla. I know, help me remember. Sapphire said as she removed her panties and undid her BR. The two crawled over to Naruto as they grabbed his piece of massive equipment. How do you fit it into the suit let alone your clothes? Caitlin asked as she jerked him off wanting him to be nice and hard. Who cares? I'm just glad that Accelerator gifted him with more than just speed, it gives us a monster PP to play with. Sapphire said as she ate the tip. I love it when you girls team up. Naruto said petting their heads. The two girls smile before they put their mouths on each side of his PP and go up and down with it as they play with his ball. I swear you PP tastes amazing, Sapphire said as she loved its salty taste. It'll be better after he F us with it, Caitlin said unaware her eyes flashed blue for a millisecond. But how's about a taste? Sapphire said with a smirk as Caitlin returns it with her own. Caitlin nodded as she opened her mouth as wide as it could go before taking it into her mouth. God, I missed this feeling of your throat. Naruto said as Caitlin deep-throated him. Look at her take it, Sapphire said as Caitlin seemed to be taking the whole thing. Caitlin was gagging and coughing as she took it all down her throat as her nose rested against Naruto's body. It tastes better than before. Caitlin a pleasant look on her face. Sapphire not wanting to be left out began eating and playing with Naruto's ball. I think she leaked just from taking it into her throat. Sapphire said as Caitlin's juices ran down her legs basically soaking the bed under her. Jeez. Naruto said as Caitlin seemed very eager and corny. Caitlin decided her turn was over as Sapphire took her place eating his PP as Caitlin played with his ball. Now who's the one who leaked from taking it down her throat, now? Caitlin said as Sapphire was soaked as well. I love you. Naruto said which seemed to make their juices flow more as they put in more effort. Enough F me already, Caitlin said desperately as all the emotions and hormones she repressed for all these months came rushing in. No me. Sapphire said also very eager. I'll F you as soon as you make me leak. Naruto said with a smirk. The two girls smirked as they grabbed their melons and put them on each side of Naruto's PP. So much of it is sticking out. Sapphire said seeing a good amount of Naruto's PP sticking out of their melons. More to play with. Caitlin said as they began to kiss Naruto's PP as it was sandwiched between their massive mounds. Remembering back to how we used to have SEC with other girls, there's always been something I wanted to do. Sapphire said with a wicked smirk. And what's that? Caitlin asked as Sapphire whispered into her ear causing her to share the same smirk. The two took their melons off Naruto's PP leaving him confused before they positioned themselves in a SCSSRNG position with his PP in between their pussies. This is so much better. Caitlin said in pleasure. Naruto said as his PP was basically being kissed by their pussies. How's about leaking now? Want to paint our bodies white as we bath in your thick warm jizz? Sapphire said, looking at Naruto hungrily. Want to see us make out as we swap your warm essence between our tongues? Would you like that? Caitlin said as she felt his PP twitch. Drown us please, she said beggingly. Naruto said as he basically hosed them in his juices. There she blows. Sapphire said as she and Caitlin stuck their tongues out to catch his juice in their mouths. The girls loudly as they leaked from tasting his juice before grabbing each other and making out with one another as they rub his juice into their bodies. That is so hot. Naruto said, still very much irked. Please F us, fill all our holes to the brim. F us until our legs can't work and our brains are jelly. Sapphire said beggingly as the two women lay on top of each other. I'm very smart, so you're going to have to put in more effort to F me, stupid. Caitlin said, acting smart. Wasn't too hard years ago. Naruto said with a smirk as he and Caitlin went at it like rabbits when they dated. Please, I need this, my holes need to remember the feel of your PP. I need to remember why you're better than Ronnie. Caitlin said as Sapphire got off of her and the two sat on their hands and knees beside each other shaking their asses at Naruto. Naruto stared at their leaking pussies and spanked their asses. The two loudly from that feeling. Oh, I can't wait to see how my powers can be used here. Naruto said as he was so glad he trained so much. Please, we can't stand it anymore. Sapphire yelled in desperation, we need dash. She was stopped as Naruto put her and Caitlin on top of each other. I choose, both of you. Naruto said, thrusting into Caitlin first, then into Sapphire using his super speed. F. Caitlin screamed in pleasure, tears coming out her eyes as Naruto quickly and roughly thrusted into her PP. Are you vibrating? She asked as she drooled and her eyes rolled up slightly. Oh F, our man vibrates. You have no idea how much closet space this is going to give me. Sapphire said in pure pleasure, feeling her PP be stretched out. Me too. Caitlin said as ever since Ronnie died she's been using toys, and even though it took off the edge nothing was as good as Naruto's PP. You wanna know one thing I regret never doing with you too? Naruto said to them. What? They both asked, still in pleasure. Taking your black cherries. Naruto said as he slowed down and positioned his PP with their assess. The two girls' eyes widened, feeling the tip press against their asses. Oh God, yes. Caitlin screamed in joy as Naruto pierced her peach. F, yes. Sapphire said also in joy. The girls screamed in pleasure as with each move their bodies rubbed against each other. Why did I leave this breaker again? Caitlin said as Naruto noticed her engagement ring wasn't on her hand, making him even hornier as he now knew Caitlin was serious about moving on. Oh God, he's F all of our holes. Sapphire said as Naruto thrusted his vibrating PP into both of their holes at super speed. Naruto grinned as he picked up the speed before Caitlin grabbed Sapphire's head and the two locked lips. I swear my life is never boring, he thought in pure joy. The two kissing women looked down to see their stomachs bulge with each move, which made them hornier than before. I'm going to flood all of your holes. Naruto said, literally becoming a blur as he F'd them. Do it. The two demanded, wanting their holes to be flooded with his juice. Here it leaks. Naruto shouted. The two women threw their heads back and screamed, feeling him dump gallons into their bodies as their tongues hung from their mouths and their eyes rolled into their heads. The girls leaked even harder, looking as their stomachs began expanding from how much he's pouring into their holes. I swear I think I can taste it. Caitlin said as she could almost taste Naruto's juice from her stuff holes. If he keeps leaking we will have it in our mouths. Sapphire said as she felt her PP and peach might burst. I'd love to see that. Me filling you so much it fills up your throats. Naruto said, wondering if that was possible. Ah, Caitlin said as her eyes flashed blue again. The two women loudly as Naruto removed himself from them and his essence leaked out, gushing. I love myself. Naruto said, seeing the two women twitching from pure pleasure. I haven't had SEC in at least 2 years, we're not stopping until I do feel it leak out of my throat. Caitlin said as she stared at his PP hungrily. That was a little thing I loved, didn't I? I swear my PP isn't gonna stop leaking juices for a while. Sapphire said as she watched some freaky stuff on the internet. Well, come on then, the night is still young. Naruto said as a streak of lightning went around his PP and his eyes crackled with white lightning. The two women giggle as they kneeled before his PP ready to have more fun as the apartment was filled with and screams throughout the night, making Naruto happy his mother paid extra to have his apartment be soundproof so his neighbors can sleep. Next morning. The F happened to you? Naruto said seeing Barry once again in the hospital bed. He hit Tony but Iris took him down, Cisco said with a smirk. Ha, so you couldn't take him out but she could. I am signing you up for training. Naruto. Barry gulped foreseeing torture in his future. Caitlin walked into the room with a slight limp but a nice big smile on her face. Good morning, she said cheerfully. Ooh, you look different, you're smiling. Fun night? Cisco said. The best night I've had in a long time. Caitlin said softly and calmly as she had a faraway look. You, and him Barry was saying in realization. Like I said, the best night ever. Caitlin said as they noticed her engagement ring was off as she walked over and kissed Naruto. Cisco was right, Barry said as he looked at Naruto, you really need to write that book, he said as his luck with ladies sucked. I have been thinking of a book. Naruto said as he did indeed thought of a book for them but also books about his adventures. I'm pretty sure any book he'd make would be smut. Caitlin said with a smirk, need any inspiration, she asked him. I think last night gave me some but I was thinking of the Tales of the Gutsy Ninja. What do you think? Naruto asked as he had the book his MSTR originally wrote memorized. Not bad, but is the smut still on the table? Cisco asked as learning Naruto's secrets would be amazing. Cisco, give it up. You'd never be able to do the things he can. Caitlin said in total honesty. Why's that? Cisco asked as Caitlin went to his ear. 16 long and 5 thick. Caitlin whispered to him. You just destroyed my self-esteem and my masculinity, Cisco said now looking depressed. Mine too. Barry said as he heard her. I love my life. Naruto said putting an arm around Caitlin who leaned into his shoulder smiling, hey babe, I gotta go, see you later. Naruto said, giving her a kiss before speeding off. Jitters. Iris hums as she cleans the table before finding the place clean and Godspeed standing before her on the roof. Hello Ms. West. Naruto said vibrating his vocal cords since Iris might have recognized his voice. Oh Godspeed wow I have so many questions, Iris said as she wanted to talk to him. I am willing to answer them, just be sure to ask before my partner comes to shut me up. Naruto said. Your sidekick? Iris asked curiously making him chuckle. Oh Bar is gonna have a field day with that, Naruto thought as he gave Barry respect but knew. My partner says that I should keep silent, but last night proved my point. If you had been notified then you could have been at least prepared. Naruto said as he filled Iris in on metas but left out the info about the particle accelerator not wanting to point a finger in the direction of STR Labs, but you need to be careful about what you say as it can bring the wrong kind of attention like it did last night. You're painting a target on yourself, he said. I know, Tony being the evidence of that. Answer me this, did the particle accelerator have anything to do with your powers? Iris asked. No wonder Barry likes her, she's smart, Naruto thought. You are smart. 10 months ago the particle accelerator exposed Central City to dark matter. Naruto said as he told her everything but his identity and Barry's. You're surprisingly more honest than the Flash. Iris said as she wrote this down. I was raised on the principle of honesty being the best policy. Lies hurt friends and accomplish nothing. Naruto said to her, but let me tell you something, we don't know each other at all and this is probably the only time we'll meet. This isn't my kind of thing, he said running to the edge of the building. Also don't mention STR Labs, that's a genie you don't want to unleash from the bottle, just mention it when meta-humans become acknowledged, he said as. Why now? Why tell me all this? Iris asked him. Because I trust you and the truth needs to be told before someone gets hurt. Till next we meet Ms. West. Naruto said as he ran down the building. Looks like I'm gonna be looking into STR Labs, Iris said as her instincts were telling her something was going on there. If Godspeed asked her not to mention anything. Hey, wait, what about me? You can't leave me, Iris said as Naruto came back. Up here, she finished appearing in the coffee shop. Wow, Central City's superhero. Awesome. Iris said before noticing money in the jar as Naruto paid for a coffee. And apparently he loves our coffee, bonus. She said as she saw he left her an extra 20. STR Labs. We see a truck backing into the garage as we see Rex still inside the cavity, keeping him inside as he's loaded up to go to the facility where he will be cured. I trust you are going along with them? Harrison asked Naruto as the facility was in Starling City. Yeah, also gonna destroy the metamorpho chemical, Naruto said as Sapphire had fired the scientists involved with that chemical and had all the files deleted and burned. Or to see someone or someone's. Well said as he had a lot of women he dated. Someone, Naruto said as he followed the truck before jumping in. Harrison stared at the truck as it moved out of the garage as they headed for Starling City. Alright mom, I'll be okay, we're driving into the city now. Call you later, love you too, bye. Naruto said as the truck made it to Stag Industries. Overprotective mom, huh? The driver said. Oh, like you wouldn't believe. Naruto said as he exited the truck. So where should we start setting the charges, inside or out? Naruto asked. Appreciate the offer, but we are professional so we can handle this. Your mother threatened us not to let you help, the man said as he almost shitted himself on how calm she was. Of course she did. Thankfully I brought my motorcycle with me. It's in the back, see ya. Naruto said as he went to the back of the truck where the supplies were and rolled his bike out. Wonder how Thea's doing, he asked as he was in a coma. Thea Queen. She owns a club, where's it at again? The man said trying to think back. Here, another man said giving him the club name. Thanks. Naruto said putting his helmet on as he remembered what happened the last time he tried going out on his bike without his helmet. 20 minutes later. We see Thea looking at DJs she's planning to see who to hire. Remind me again why I looked up so many people. Thea asked. I wouldn't know, it's been a while. Naruto said making her freeze as she turned to him. The F have you been? Thea asked him as she went up to him. Coma, Naruto said hoping that'd temper her anger. Oh my god, what happened? Thea asked as he looked fine, even better. Got struck by lightning. Felicity didn't tell you? Naruto asked as before Felicity went on her train he told her to tell Thea. No, she didn't. I was so worried about you, Naruto. I thought you were dead or something. Thea said as tears came to her eyes. I'm here and alive, Speedy. I thought I told you only tears of joy belong on this face of yours. Naruto said with a smirk which was dyed the moment the next DJ finished setting up and began playing. Okay buddy, take off, my ears are bleeding. You think you can DJ? The man asked feeling insulted. Buddy, there isn't a thing in this world I can't do. Naruto said as he was bored. Show them what you got, babe. Thea said giving him a playful pat on his butt. Naruto smirked as he went up to the booth. Okay people, listen and listen well, this is what you should be like for my babes club. Naruto said as he grabbed his MP3 player from his pocket and started playing some good tunes, making the other DJs wanting the job leave as they saw the boss lady like it. Oh man, that's amazing, Thea said as she was sure the people would enjoy this. So is your brother around? Naruto asked curiously. Oh, why do you want to see him? He's a deech, Thea said as she disliked her brother a lot sometimes. You're not wrong, babe. Naruto said as there was a club online of people who slept with and hated Oliver Queen. Hi, I'm Oliver Queen, Oliver said as he heard his name. I know who you are. Naruto said with a smirk as they shoot each other looks. I'm sure you do, as probably some of my exes are with you now in your supposed HRM. Oliver said as he heard rumors of Naruto's many lovers. And your sister. Naruto said as Oliver gripped his hand hard. Oliver then was flip-tossed and landed on his back. Ow! Oliver groaned. Sorry dude, it's a reflex. My mom trained me. Naruto said as he fought instinctually. That was a league move, Oliver said as Naruto's stance and the way he moved seemed similar to Nissa's. Nissa told you? Naruto asked as when he was all rested up and talked to his mom he learned about Nissa and she introduced herself and decided to give him a full-on fight. Geez, Ollie, are you okay? Thea asked as she walked over. Been hurt worse. Oliver groaned as he rubbed his back. So when did this happen? He asked curiously. Before the accelerator blast, I was in Starling and saw Thea was down so I helped her back up. Naruto said as Thea was considering using drags. Ollie, he helped save me from a guy who snatched my purse and tried to stab me okay, so I thanked him with some drinks and a spark happened. Then his coma came and I've been worried sick. Thea said as she didn't know anyone to call or contact him. Sorry, Speedy. Naruto said getting smacked by her. He knows your nickname. Oliver asked curiously as Thea never told anyone that name. And the overprotective brother bit begins. Thea mutters. I can still kick his butt, if you want babe. Naruto said with a smirk. Can you now? Oliver asked with a smirk. Naruto vibrated his hand just to shut him up. What the hell was that? Thea asked curiously, and can you use that in bed, she said seeing Oliver turn green. Yes and check it. Naruto said before running around the club cleaning it up. Tada, he said with a smirk. You're not getting in bed with him. Oliver said sternly. She can if she wants to. I'm not pressuring her, it's her choice if she wants to be with me. Naruto said with a smirk. Yeah, I know about his HRM thing and all Ollie and I'm okay with it. Though we should have some more dates before we do anything in bed. I haven't seen you in like 10 months. Thea said with a smirk wondering how SEC would be. I'm gonna murder Barry, Oliver said out loud. You'd have to get past me, dude. Naruto said with a smirk. Alright, I need to train, Oliver said as this was too much. If you want to see real muscles, give me a call. Naruto said with a smirk. Can I see them, or feel them? Thea asked as Naruto gave her his arm. Wow. She said. He better be gone before I get back. Oliver said as Naruto followed him and he turned to stare at him. What I want in on the training, been a while since I kick but worth my time, Naruto said with a smirk. You, actually think, you can beat me? Kid, I've been doing this for a lot longer. Oliver said. Yeah, but you haven't been trained like I have. Naruto said as they both stared the other down. If you hurt my sister. Oliver said with a look. I'd die or kill myself before that happens. You don't seem to get how I feel for people I love. Naruto said with a smirk. Okay, let's get your torture underway. Oliver said a little disturbed as Naruto didn't get afraid and only smiled. That's usually my line, Pops. Naruto said with a smirk. I always hated that, I am not that old. Oliver said angrily. Whatever, to the Arrow Cave. Naruto said, going past him laughing. It's not called that. Oliver said as he hated that name. 30 minutes later. I hate you. Oliver said as Naruto had a foot on his back as they had been sparring for a good 25 minutes and then used super speed to kick his butt. Is it wrong that I thought that was hot? Felicity said coming down the steps. What, seeing Oliver get his butt kicked? Dig said with a smirk as he was watching the entire time. Screw you, Dig. Oliver said feeling sore. Man, you basically do that to me every day, Dig said in total honesty. Guess a speedster trained in the ways of the League of Assassins was too much for the mighty Arrow. Naruto said as Felicity jumped and Dig instinctively went for his gun. Whoa, what I'd do, he said. He doesn't work for them, his mother did and quit. He knows Nissa though, so maybe take some precaution, Oliver said as Nissa's a recent acquaintance. Naruto said as he just met her. Meaning you haven't gotten into bed with her yet? Oliver said as he wondered if he could. And you haven't slept with tons of girls? I'm surprised you didn't get one of them PRGN. Naruto said, not knowing a certain boy in Central City sneezed. I just felt a weird chill. Oliver said as his spine just shook. I tend to have that effect scarring people, Naruto said as he helped Oliver up. Why are you here? Besides finding ways to PSS me off? Oliver asked him curiously. Well, that was at the top of my list, Naruto said, getting a laugh from Dig and Felicity. Oliver gave him a look. Okay, still has a stick up his, but I see, it's sticking out of his mouth. Naruto said, making Felicity fall to the floor crying in laughter. I'll shoot you, Oliver said with a smile. Dude, I'll throw that arrow back at you in the blink of an eye. Maybe give that stick of yours some company. Naruto said as he had been trying to learn how to redirect force of things like bullets and arrows. Man, you are good with comebacks, you actually shut him up. Dig said laughing, feel free to come back anytime, I'd love to see this, he said, getting a glare from Oliver. What I miss, Roy said, coming down. Oliver got his butt kicked, Felicity said, giving Oliver a look daring him to deny it. And you didn't invite me, what the hell, Roy said as he'd love to see that. That just earned you more sessions, Oliver said to Roy. Here's the footage, Dig said as they had cameras in here. What do we got? Something I can help with? Naruto asked. Well, Felicity was saying. No. Oliver said. Yeah, screw you, I'm helping anyway. Naruto said with a smirk as he moved Oliver out of the way. Play it, baby. He said as. I like this guy. Roy said as he was liking Naruto more and more. He dating Thea and multiple women, Oliver said to Roy. Like him less, Roy said as he had to admit he was jealous now. Hey, I gave her the choice when I told her, unlike some archer douches, I like being honest with my friends. Naruto said as he knew Thea didn't know. Ugh, this again. Oliver said as he hated this conversation. Tell me, are you mad at me because of Thea, or because I kicked your butt? Naruto asked. Both, Felicity, Dig, and Roy said with a smirk. Play the DMN footage already. Oliver said, annoyed as he couldn't think of a comeback, and they laughed at him getting his butt kicked. Twice, he got shut up, twice. I like you. Dig said as he and Naruto fist bump as Felicity started the footage. How'd you two even meet? Dig asked curiously. He was passed out drunk at a bar as his date was being mugged, so I helped save her a couple years ago. Naruto said as ever since then he's had a slight hatred for Oliver for how he treated his so-called girlfriends. Did you really cheat on Laurel with her own sister? He asked. How do you even know that? Oliver asked as he hated when that was brought up. Well, you just confirmed it. Naruto said with a smirk. 3 times. Dig said as Oliver was silenced again. Would you please just show us what we're looking at, please? Oliver said angrily and annoyed. Okay, Mr. Bossy. Felicity said as she put the information on the screen. Thank you. Oliver said. You must be getting to him, he usually doesn't say those words. Roy said with a smile. JRK much? Naruto said, getting nods from Felicity, Diggle and Roy. Oliver groans as he rubs his temple. Kill me now, someone. He said. Naruto brought a knife to his neck, making everyone tense up. Made you flinch, he said with a smirk. DMN, you are good. Felicity said, letting out a nervous chuckle. Not funny. Oliver said. You don't know how to have fun or be funny. Dig said, letting out a laugh. What? I'm a fun guy, right? Oliver asked as soon everyone heard crickets chirp and saw Naruto was playing it from his phone, making them laugh. Can we keep him? Roy asked, loving this. Please, just put the information about this archer, would you? Oliver said, getting tired of the distractions. I have a headache. he said, rubbing his head. These are hearts, not spades. Naruto said, holding the arrow head upside down. Why paint a spade red? Cool, it's kinda like Cupid, if Cupid killed people with arrows. Naruto said, then gained an idea. These people killed any of them cheaters might match the theme. Angry righteous Cupid, he asked Felicity, who went to check social media. We thought of that, and the person she killed was being transported to SCPD for the murders at Ted Grant's gym. He was a murderer, but when they found him he was dressed up like him. And apparently our angry Cupid struck again just an hour ago. Let me pull it up. Felicity said, pointing at Oliver and finding a news report about a man that got killed with the same type of arrow. Got him, Jesse Ruckert, was found dead with an arrow through the heart. She said, finding the name of the man. Bad taste in fashion then. Naruto said with a smirk as Oliver groaned. Is everything a joke to you? Oliver said. Funny things are. Naruto said, then got a call. Well, as fun as it's been emasculating Oliver. Thea called, he said with a smile. But call. Felicity said, getting looks from everyone. I thought that was funny, she said shyly. No, apparently friends of mine heard I was in town and showed up, Kara and Alex Danvers. Naruto said with a smile, eager to see the Danvers sisters again. More of your many lovers? Oliver asked. At least I have lovers. Naruto said, going up the steps. You should learn to let people in, this life can be lonely. Just go ask Bruce Wayne. He said. What's he got to do with anything? Oliver said as he was then thrown a batarang at the nearest table. Oh, no way. Roy said, checking it out as he was a Batman fan. Is that a? Felicity asked unsurely and slightly excitedly. Batman says hi. Naruto said with a smirk as he left. You gotta be kidding. Oliver said as he felt a massive hit to his ego now. With Thea. Oh, it is so great to see you again. Naruto said, giving both Danvers sisters a hug. What's with the little get-up down there? Kara asked him curiously as she used her X-ray vision as she got bored. Does she know? Alex asked him as the DEO had connections with Argus and she knew Oliver Queen was the arrow. About me or about Mr. Hood down there? Naruto asked her curiously. You know what I mean. Alex said. I don't think so about her brother, but she knows about me. Naruto said as he held up a vibrating hand. What about my brother? Thea asked him curiously. Naruto quickly told her and she went to the door downstairs and shouting. Are you going to start a club? Alex asked as heroes were quickly learning about each other. Why did you bring her and them down here? Oliver said before getting punched in the face by Thea. That's for lying to me. Thea said as she punched Oliver and Roy in the face while Felicity laughed at this as Oliver usually had his butt bit whenever his lies caught up to him. Hey, he told me not to tell you, so beat him up. Roy said. Why in the hell did you tell her? Oliver asked as he was sporting a bruise on his cheek. I am honest, she was going to find out eventually and it's better to just rip off the metaphorical bandage and get over with it. Naruto said as he hated keeping secrets from his loved ones. Clearly he trusts me more than you did. Thea said angrily. Speedy, I know you're mad, I just, whoa. Oliver said as Thea grabbed one of his arrows before Naruto stopped her. Whoa, settle down babe, let's not put it through his GNTLS. Naruto said with a smile, besides maybe you should give that stick up his butt some company. He said, making Kara and Alex laugh. I hate you so much. Oliver said before Thea turned around and kicked him in between the legs, making him drop to his knees. Ooh, that had to hurt. Naruto said as he and John winced for their fellow male. Be glad he took that arrow away or that would have been stabbed right into that place. Thea said with a glare. I am just loving today, Roy said with a smile and backed away as Thea shot him a glare and then noticed something. Did he just take my jacket? He asked, seeing the jacketless mannequin. Yeah man, Dig said, coming out with a spare. Well, today has been full of many pleasantries. Felicity said as she was downloading what happened today to her phone. Thea huffs as she runs back upstairs followed by Kara and Alex. You did this. Oliver said glaring at Naruto. No, you did this by lying to her. Naruto said with a slightly smug expression. I have explosive arrows, get out before I try one on you. Oliver said with a glare. Bring it, Naruto said with a smirk. Okay, let's just calm down, you two tangle down here you'll destroy the place and. Dig said getting between them. You have been here for an hour and you've done is tell Thea my secret and pissed me off, get out and go back to Central City. Oliver said angrily. I will, eventually, Naruto said running out. He's fast, Dig said as he hadn't seen Naruto run with his powers. Are you drooling? Felicity asked Dig. I'm gonna murder Barry. Oliver said making Felicity worry he saw their kiss on the train. After leaving Thea with Kara and Alex, Naruto decided to put on the suit and speed around the city looking for anything to do and as he ran a newspaper hit him in the face. I thought SHT like this only happened in cartoons, he asked himself, deciding to look through it and saw someone he knew was in prison. Chien. Naruto said as he then ran back to the arrow cave. Round 2, Dig said as Oliver shot an arrow at Naruto and he redirected it. Ow. Oliver said as he pulled the arrow out of his shoulder. Where is she? Naruto said. As Team Arrow saw China White's photo. Why? Oliver asked curiously. Because I'm gonna break her out, Naruto said simply. Why? Felicity asked as China White was dangerous. We go back and, you were in the Russian mob Bratva, Naruto said as Oliver was addressing his arrow wound. How'd you know that? Oliver asked curiously. My mom has connections literally everywhere. Naruto said as a lot of things about his past started making sense. She's in Iron Heights. Felicity said as he smiled at her. There is no way someone like China White knows him and it's legal, Oliver said as he began to search into Naruto's past. And how would you know, jackass? And look at my past without my permission and we'll see how you can shoot a bow without your hands. Naruto said with a smirk, plus you're part of the Russian mob, he said plainly. He's got you there man, Dig said as Oliver did a lot of questionable things and knew a lot of questionable people. But she's a criminal. Oliver said as he can't believe how hard his day was going. She's a survivor, she's been doing what she can to survive. My mother asked her to join the triad so she could have an inside agent keeping intel for her. Besides she's not the only bad girl I know. Naruto said thinking of Nissa as no one in the league was ever clean of BLD shed and they both knew her. I'm sure Mr. I can't keep a relationship with one woman. Oliver said with as Felicity chuckled. That's the pot calling the kettle black. At least mine love me. Naruto said with a smirk. Ooh. The other said. Need ice for that burn? Roy asked with a smirk. Get out of my city, Godspeed. Oliver said. What's the matter Robin Hood, can't handle the competition. Naruto said as he ran out to Iron Heights. 5 minutes later. I'm here to see Chien Na-wei. Naruto said with a smirk as he went through X-rays and was patted down and was brought to a room with a glass between where the visitor was and the prisoner. Hey Chien long time, Naruto said in Chinese. I wish you didn't have to see me like this old friend. Chien said in Chinese. I'll admit that orange doesn't suit you as much as me, but nothing can take away your beauty. Naruto said to the Asian albino. You were the only man who loved my hair. Chien said as she remembered when they met when they were kids and his mother took her under her wing for a while, I have done many bad things. She said sadly. I thought I told you that only smiles of joy belong on that face of yours. Naruto said, making her smile. I have fallen since we've last seen each other, your mother, my teacher would be disappointed in what I've become. Chien said. Naruto placed his hand on the glass as did she. There is nothing that you could say or do that would ever affect the feelings I have for you my snowy-haired angel. Naruto said with a smile as Chien smiled back with tears of joy. With Team Arrow. What's he saying, man? Dig asked Oliver curiously as they hacked into the security footage. Dig, I speak enough Mandarin to get by, Oliver said as he didn't speak Chinese and only knew Mandarin as it helped him break down the language. It's old friends catching up, Thea said, surprising them. You speak Chinese? Oliver asked her. I date a guy who knows it. Yeah, I know the language, Thea said as her father taught her other languages. And he taught you some? Oliver asked. Yeah, he did. Thea said with a smirk. Also Roy club's yours, she said, signing a deed. What? Why? Roy asked her as he looked at the deed and saw it was legit. Did he talk you into this? Always about him, you know, when I'm with him I can actually have fun. Thea said, ready to take okay until her brother grabbed her hand. Thea, he is a unknown and this is more than your bisexual fantasies. Oliver said with a serious expression. Thea made a small gasp. Everyone always made fun of that, growing up, even you. Thea said as she hated it when Oliver made fun at her years ago. Thea, I'm sorry was all Oliver got to say before she kicked him in the stomach and ran upstairs. I deserve that. Oliver said. If we're taking free shots, can I get in on that? Roy asked. Me too, Felicity and Dig said as they rose their hands. He's gone. Oliver said, looking back at the footage. And he's mad. Roy said. What makes you say that? Felicity asked as she didn't see him angry on the footage. Because he's here. Roy said, backing up a little as Naruto was in his Godspeed suit with lightning dancing around his body. Can you make me a suit because yours is awesome? Roy said as the suit looked awesome. I've been thinking about getting a helmet. Dig said as he had always been lucky dodging headshots and needed something to cover his head. Can you make me one? Just for the hell of it. Felicity asked as if he was going to do things for them she should get something at least. Naruto zoomed out and threw her a spare costume he had in his motorcycle satchel. Awesome, Felicity said with a smirk. There's tech in there, Naruto said as she smiled. You just gave her one of your spare was all Oliver got out before Naruto grabbed him by the throat and lifted him into the air and threw him. That's for spying on me. Naruto said as he felt the camera zeroing on him. Man, and I thought Mirakuru soldiers had strength. Groaned Oliver, rubbing his neck. Oliver looked up only to get kicked in the face. What gives you the right to invade my personal life like that? Naruto said angrily. Preaching to the choir, Felicity said as Oliver invaded their personal business. Smart and appealing, why are you wasting your time with him? Naruto asked as it was fun to tease Felicity and see how much it makes Oliver mad. Touch her and I'll kill you. Oliver said. One, she's dating what's his name, and second, you F that one up on your own. Naruto said. Why did you come to Starling in the first place besides royally pissing me off? Oliver asked. To deliver a highly dangerous criminal and also see Thea. Naruto said simply. Star City Stag Industries. Hello Mr. Mason. Hara's-san said as he stood in front of his very sealed and contained room of Rex Mason aka Metamorpho. Ever thought of putting chairs or beds in these things? Then they'd feel like real prison cells. Rex said plainly. Wait, you're walking, he said as Harrison Wells was supposed to be paralyzed. Yes, well, things can be deceiving, Hara's-san said with a small chuckle. If you've come to kill me, make it quick. Without Sapphire I have nothing to live for. Rex said. No, I don't want to kill you. What if I can offer you a cure but in exchange for a favor? Hara's-san said. What do you want? I don't have anything to give. I may require your services in the near future. You have to have seen that yellow lightning that passed you by, Hara's-san said. Oh yeah, Rex said as when he fought Naruto it passed him by. Yes, him and along with Godspeed are problems, but you aren't allowed to kill Naruto. Namikaze you kill him deals off, Hara's-san said, not revealing Naruto was in fact Godspeed and needed to wait till a certain time to release Rex. Why protect him? Rex asked as he wanted to kill Naruto. Let's just say he could be needed for my plans. Oh, and tell anyone about this, and I'll have to kill you. Harrison said, his eyes glow red. Fine. Rex said. Good day, Mr. Mason. Harrison said as he vibrated through the wall. And I thought I was weird. Rex muttered. With Naruto. We see Naruto enter his hotel room to see Kara, Alex and Thea sitting as Thea was eating ice cream. Sad ice cream eating, huh? Naruto said, asked her. For years he lied to me. Thea said. Preaching to the choir sister, Kara said, sending Alex a look eating her own ice cream. Still pissed, Alex asked as Kara found out about her job. What did she do? Thea asked curiously. Lied to me about her job. Kara said. Look, thanks to Felicity I found out about who killed those two guys. Carrie Cutter, the one was for Oliver, the second was revenge against her fiancé who cheated on her. Naruto said as he stole her therapy file and saw she had very serious codependency issues as she didn't have a close relationship with her parents and her husband left her in college and she quit the police force after she had suffered many MNSTRL traumas as she got too emotional with the victims' families. Poor girl. Thea said as she began reading her file. Ew, she wants my brother. Maybe she is crazy, she said as everyone besides Laurel and Felicity were the only exceptions. Yeah, she needs help. Something Oliver isn't going to give her. Alex said as she was skilled. I'm going to get her help, me. She isn't some top-of-the-line villain like Deathstroke, she has a disorder. Naruto said as he was legalized of doing actual therapy. Why my douchebag brother though? Because 6 months ago he saved her during that Mirakuru soldier attack. Naruto said. Who's the RETD who came up with that name? Kara asked. Russians, I think. Alex said, unable to determine if it was Russian or English. Oh, and you and I would know Russians, thanks for the language lessons. Kara said to Naruto, Japanese is her favorite. She said, teasing Alex. You'd know considering how many times we speak in it. Alex said with a smirk. You know, he told me you two have a thing going on, is that true? Thea asked curiously. Yeah, guess you could say I'm in a relationship with my sister. Kara said as they weren't biological. KNKY. Thea said with a laugh. Back to your Cupid. Alex said as she hated discussing it and scooped up some ice cream from Thea. Cookie dough, she said with a smirk. According to Felicity, she has a membership with a gardening thing and that's where they think she's holding this guy. Naruto said as Oliver was apparently up with this woman. There's a face only a mother could love. Kara said, seeing the picture of Carrie's hostage. Joe Gravano, local mob boss, wanted for 39 counts of murder, racketeering, and drag smuggling. Alex said, reading his file. One of the most heavily protected men in Starling. Thea said, well, he was. She said as Cutter had him. The bag in the picture. NPP, that's related to gardening, right? Naruto asked as he often went out and enjoyed nature and went with his father on company retreats. Nitrogen, phosphate, potash, it's the chemical formula for fertilizer. Kara said as she knew the chemical makeup for certain things. Now Alex, this is where you do your magic. Find any greenhouses near where Carrie Cutter lived in the past. Naruto said as Alex went to the computer and looked up Carrie's past residences. Got one Shearwood florist, 7884 Hauser, Alex said as Naruto ran out. That never stops being cool, Thea said to Alex and Kara and was surprised when Kara smirked at her. Naruto raced back in to give each one of them a kiss. For good luck, and I needed that. Naruto said before leaving again in his suit. He never stops being hot, all three women thought. 3 hours later. Naruto leaned against the fence with a smirk as Oliver and Roy arrived in their suits. When did you guys leave? I've been here for hours when it took me seconds to get here. Naruto said with a smirk. Awesome. Roy said. Fine, but if you're gonna operate in my city, you're doing it on my terms. Oliver said wantin. Naruto gave a mocking bow as he opened the gate for the two before following. Roy, find Gravano. I'll take care of Cutter. Oliver said. Got it. Roy said as the two separated while Naruto shrugged and went with Oliver. Thank you God, he thought as the world finally found someone that could PSS off Oliver and kick his butt. Naruto poked his head down a hall and looked both ways and saw Oliver. Hey buddy, want some company, he said. Not really. Oliver said as he wondered how people put up with this guy. Arsenal, there's no sign of Cutter. Arsenal. Arsenal. Oliver said as Roy didn't answer. Hello, lover. Cutter said as she came out through the comms. DMN even her voice is secretary. Naruto said. If you hurt him. Oliver threatened. I didn't touch him, boyfriend. I'm kind of a one-guy woman. But I am a little disappointed you brought your wingman. Tonight's about him. It's about us. If she keeps going about you and her I think I'm going to hurl. Naruto said. Upset I have a woman interested in me and not you. Considering your history with women, yes. Naruto said. Hello appealing. He said as they saw Carrie with a foot on a chair Gravano was standing on as he was hanging from a string as Roy laid before them unconscious as Carrie held a cupcake with a lit candle. Make a wish. Mine came true, Carrie said holding the cupcake out. Is that strawberry? Naruto said moving forward but Oliver stopped him. Dude that looks baked, he said as he didn't like processed food all the time. It could be laced with something, Oliver said wondering what was wrong with him. Would you really think I'd put something in this besides love? Carrie said. You really got this love thing down girl. Naruto said a little impressed by her devotion. See lover he understands love, Carrie said with a smirk. That's because he is AF moron, Oliver said as Naruto back slapped him. Says the guy who, you know what will settle this later. Naruto said ready to settle the score. Please help me. Don't leave me with this psycho. Gravano pleaded. Quiet. Carrie said. You don't want to do this. Oliver said to Carrie. Sure I do. Carrie said as Oliver readied a arrow aimed at the rope holding Gravano. Oh, I wouldn't do that. That rope's laced with a tripwire that's hooked up to a little thing on his chest that goes, boom. Carrie said with a smirk. So what do you want, then? Oliver asked angrily. Not much. Just you. Carrie said. Never gonna happen. Oliver said as his date life was complicated enough. Trust me, that's not gonna happen. Naruto said. Such a party pooper. Carrie said as she threw the cupcake down and ran as Oliver snapped the rope holding Gravano and removed the bomb around his chest and destroyed it with an explosive arrow. Okay enough of this, Naruto said as he was done with this and went after her. Wait, don't go off alone. Oliver said but just shouted to air as he knocked Gravano out and Naruto was gone along with Cupid. Miles away from Starling City. You know you remind me of someone, Naruto said as he had. Who? Carrie asked curiously. Little bit of myself and an old friend of mine. She was a bit high-strung on this guy gave her no time of day and honestly didn't give a rat's but about her. Naruto said as Sasuke was a deech bag to Sakura. What's this got to do with me? Carrie asked a little interested. I was kinda like you, that woman gave all her attention to him as I tried everything to get her to like me. I was nothing but kind and sweet to her and she didn't care at all as all she did was hit me, like a lot. Naruto said as those times sucked. You don't dash, Carrie said. Look I am sorry for you having to go through all that pain, first with your parents then with your husband leaving you and cheating on you, but I know you can find love. Naruto said with a smile, just not with the arrow he's cheated on dozens of women, I'm sure he's gotten one at least PRGNT, he said as it was probably the truest statement. And you haven't? Carrie asked. All my lovers know about one another. Naruto said, then got an idea and went to SCPD and gave her her former police file. You can be a police officer again, he said as he read her file on the way here. You have, a HRM? Carrie asked as she studied all forms of love, and how can I be a cop again, she asked as she was sure her chief wouldn't say anything nice. I have faith in you, there is a good person inside your heart. You just need to find it again. Naruto said as he was gonna refer Carrie to his alter ego so she could work through some of her problems. Do you care about me? Carrie asked curiously. Yes, I am worried about you. Worried you are going to get hurt again. Naruto said as she needed understanding, not more and more drags. Someone said they were worried about me, all she wanted me to do was take pills after pills. Carrie said as she hated her therapist. All I want to give you is understanding. Naruto said in honesty. Carrie looked into his mask-covered face and even though she couldn't see his face she could tell he was telling the truth. Just put down the bow. Naruto asked her as this was her choice to make, as people responded better to when they had free choice. Carrie looked at the hand holding the bow and started to shake as she dropped it and fell to her knees. Thank you, Carrie. Naruto said as he embraced her as he knew she was having a realization moment. Naruto looked as Oliver arrived and reached for his bow, but a shake from Naruto made him stop. Later at the Arrow Cave. How'd he stop her? Dig asked curiously and impressed. He talked to her apparently. Oliver asked, not knowing what was said but was impressed that it worked. Sometimes that's all it takes. A wise man once said, that the path from inner turmoil begins with a friendly ear. Felicity said, making them look at her curiously, what I like spiritual quotes, she said. Where is she? Dig asked as she wasn't in Iron Heights. No clue. Oliver said as he saw the deed that Thea had Roy sign, did you read this? He said as he read it. Not really, why? Roy said as he trusted Thea. Apparently your acting boss, meaning Thea, still makes money from this and you can make purchases with her money for the club, Oliver said as he was impressed this was an airtight contract. Oliver, Felicity said as she showed him a text she got from Thea in Central City and then got a call from Lance. With? You so much as release that bow I will murder you, Kushina said as she holds a sword to Merlin's neck. Is that any way to talk to an old friend? When was the last time we spoke? 10, 20 years. Merlin asked, not really afraid. I don't care, you fire that arrow you'll die, Merlin. Kushina said threateningly. Come now, teacher, you should know I'm not stupid enough to fight the woman who taught me how to use this bow. Merlin said as he was one of her many students while she was with the League. I've taught many people but some like you disgrace my teachings. Kushina said as she was the one to train Merlin her ways and was one of the many reasons she left the League of Assassins. Look, if this is about Thea or Sarah Dash, Merlin was saying till he got stabbed in his liver. If you had anything to do with Nissa's former lover's death I'll kill you, Kushina said as Nissa came to. I think you and I both know the truth to that and that you won't kill me as I am what you'd call a necessary evil. Merlin said. Then I'll let you live just so Nissa can kill you. I might not be able to hunt you down but Nissa can, Kushina said as they both knew how persistent Nissa was at getting her target. Oh please, she doesn't want the League to exist and neither do you. Your son doesn't have the heart to handle the trials and neither does Mr. Queen, but the real problem is Roz. The League needs a new leader, you know that. Merlin said. I'd rather kill myself than have you lead, Kushina said. And if you ever send the League after me or my loved ones, Merlin, you'll find out firsthand why they called me the Crimson Death, she said with a glare. Then who? Certainly not Talia. And you and I both know no one in the League can take you. Merlin said as the League of Assassins needed a new leader and he was grasping for power as his only competition was Kushina, but she didn't want it. Why I ever taught you how to make that mind-controlling potion is something I'll never know. Kushina said as the League developed many potions and elixirs over the years as it was standard League training to manipulate certain people. Had to shut her up somehow. Merlin said, talking about Sarah. Ever come after Thea like that again and you'll be dinner for my son's more deadlier animals. Kushina said as she walked away. She's my daughter. You gave up the right as a parent when you killed your son and furthered that statement by doing what you did to your daughter, Kushina said as she walked away and disappeared into the shadows as she went to the train station. Now to deal with this stab. Merlin said looking at his wound slightly happy the League taught him how to deal with pain as this wound would kill a normal man. Few days later Central City train station. Is this your excuse to come see Thea? Felicity asked curiously, or do you want a rematch with Naruto, she asked. Little bit of both actually. Oliver said simply. You'll lose Mr. Queen. Kushina said as she passed him. I'm sorry, do I know you? Oliver asked. You know my son. Kushina said. OSHT you're his mother, Felicity said as Naruto told her when he visited that she was in the League of Assassins. Why do I meet assassins at God DMN trains? She asked no one in particular. Yes, and it's rude to stare, I know I am appealing. Kushina said as Oliver was staring, also I train Nissa Oliver and Merlin and both know I can easily kill them. What do you think your chances are against my son who I've trained since he could walk, she asked. Naruto said that you trained many people in the League, was one of them Lady Shiva? Oliver asked remembering. And why are you going to Starling, he asked curiously. 1. How do you know about Sandra Wu-san? And 2. Because my latest student is in jail, Kushina said as Chien was her most recent student after she quit the League. Naruto mentioned that a woman named Lady Shiva was named the most dangerous woman on earth because of you teaching her. Oliver said as those titles were hard to come by. Yes, one of my more advanced students. Kushina said as the girl was strong-willed. I'm gonna go find Dig, Felicity said as the assassin staring contest scared her greatly. You know, if you want, I could teach her. Kushina said as she saw the woman had some potential. No thanks, I don't want her involved, Oliver said. Translation, you don't want a woman around you that can kick your butt so easy. Kushina said with a smirk. Also Oliver, fear of what can happen is not the way to live. Focus on what you wish to happen to clear your mind, she said as she boarded her train. What makes you think that? Oliver asked. The look in your eyes speaks volumes, Kushina said getting in. Also hurt my son again and I will show you why they called me the Red Death. She said with a smirk. What I miss, Dig said as he and Felicity showed up. A talk between assassins, Oliver said making Dig slightly confused. Next day. And I thought Central City was weird. Naruto said as he looked at a picture of body with a boomerang in the guy's back in Starling. Why are you looking at police crimes in a different city? Barry asked. Because if Oliver can't figure it out, you know he'd come to us to figure something out. Naruto said as Oliver gave it to Thea, who in turn gave it to him. So is it true Thea moved in with you? Barry asked as Oliver talked to him last night after he helped with a criminal. She's facing some issues back home, so I'm just giving her a place to sleep away from Oliver and company. Naruto said with a smirk. Also, who is that new officer that keeps stopping by? Barry asked him. Oliver's last problem before I gave her the help she needed. Naruto said as Carrie was stopping by here for checkups and just to talk to him. Problem? Barry asked as Oliver having a problem meant danger. Oh, don't be a pansy, and word of advice, good luck. Naruto said with a smirk as he knew Oliver would pull a PP move. With what? Barry asked curiously. You'll find out. Naruto said with a smirk. Wanna get coffee? He asked him as Felicity invited them. Sure. Barry said, always liking a cup of coffee and seeing Iris. Few minutes later at Jitters. Dude, you need a life. Thea said as she was working as a barista. Here you go Oliver, I brewed you a fresh pot, Iris said as she gave him his coffee and stared at him. Hey Iris. Naruto said as he snapped his fingers in front of her face. Iris, you mind not staring at my brother, his ego is big enough. Thea said as she glared at her brother, and before you ask, no, no, and hell no, she said with a smirk. One who better get some ice with that burn and 2 double oo. Naruto said with a smirk. Barry, I'm gonna kill you. Oliver said. What did I do? Barry asked. He can't kick Naruto's butt and you're a good substitute, Felicity said. So am I supposed to guess why you're in Central City or are you gonna tell me? Naruto asked curiously. Barry didn't tell you. Felicity said. Hey Naruto, Cisco almost done with the thing I asked? Thea asked Naruto curiously. He's working on it, Naruto said with a smirk. Thing, what thing? Oliver asked, getting no answer. STR Labs. Cisco was rocking out as he made more arrows and worked on Cupid's and Speedy's new suits. Back with Naruto. Just some things. Thea said with a smirk. What are these things? Oliver asked again, still not getting an answer. Not fun not knowing, is it? Thea asked him with a smirk as she gave Oliver a taste of his own medicine. Felicity gave me a call this morning about the boomerang dude and we are currently dealing with a guy who makes people angry. Barry said as Naruto wasn't there last night when Oliver revealed himself. Later at STR Labs. Who makes boomerangs like these? Naruto asked, holding the object in question. Is it vibrating? He asked as he, Cisco, and Felicity worked on analyzing the boomerang. Naruto, he wants us for training, we gotta go, Barry said as Oliver was very specific. Pfft, me for training? Are you serious? Naruto asked him as he was good already, but I might not get another chance like this, he said with a smirk. Like what? Barry asked. Never mind, just don't throw this thing, we don't know what'll happen. Naruto said, gesturing to the boomerang. Few minutes later. You're a sadistic bstrd, you know that? Naruto asked him as Oliver just shot Barry. Heard you guys heal fast. Oliver said as he removed the arrows in Barry's back. Still think I'm the biggest pain in your life? Naruto asked. Alright, you think you're so good, you go. Barry said as Naruto upped the stakes and ran to the same spot Barry was before he blindfolded himself. Ready when you are, Robin Hood. Naruto said with a smirk. Is he crazy? Oliver asked Barry, beginning to wonder. Debate is still up on that one. Barry said with a neutral look as he winced in pain. Naruto ran to Oliver and caught his arrow, then caught and threw the 2 arrows from the remote crossbows. F. Barry said as that was impressive. It's called instinct. Barry, reacting to certain things in the right way can help you predict certain moves an enemy will make. Naruto said. You sound like you've done this before. Oliver said as those sounded like the words of a veteran. Naruto let out a chuckle as his mother was a sadistic trainer. Don't tell me your mother shot you. Oliver said. The difference between this and what she did was that they were RBB. Naruto said, remembering the bruises as RBB caused more pain sometimes than actual metal. Ouch. Barry said as he knew the difference between being shot with a RBB bullet and a metal bullet. Around now is usually when Cisco's curiosity gets the better of him and he does something stupid. Naruto said as he got a feeling, and when he ran back to the lab, he saw a flying boomerang hit a pipe. Knew it, he said with a smirk. That's on me, that's my bad. Cisco said with an apologetic look. We need to get some stuff to prevent this from happening again. Caitlin said, looking at the broken glass on the floor. Yeah, not leaving Cisco alone with stuff like this. Naruto said as he removed the boomerang and gave it to Caitlin. Also, I'm gonna go finish up that hole, he said as he was gonna finish the hole in the building. With all your money, why not just buy STR Labs? Caitlin asked as Naruto was almost as rich as Dr. Wells, considering that he had a lot of people wanting to buy his inventions and treatments for animals. Me and my family never felt like doing that. Naruto said as they helped support many businesses. Where are you guys with this Bivolo guy? He asked them curiously as Oliver got the guy's name from interrogating the manager of the storage unit Bivolo was renting out of. Well, thanks to Felicity, we have facial recognition software, we found him. Cisco said as Naruto. Few seconds later. I swear villains have terrible taste, Naruto said as he kicked the door down and searched the room. Who are you? Bivolo said as he walked in. Naruto sped to him and grabbed him by the collar. I'm gonna dash, he was saying till Bivolo's eyes glowed and Naruto's eyes behind his mask turned red and black instead of his normal blue and white. Beat you, making you feel the same pain you caused on those people, he said with a vicious smirk being the mask. Now let's go for a run, he said as he began running and beating Bivolo. Few minutes later. Dude, what's your damage? Cisco said as Bivolo's eyes were swollen, had some missing teeth, broken fingers, and some scrapes. I don't see any problem, he came at me, I beat him up, done story. Naruto said as he threw him into a cell and removed his mask. Whoa. Cisco said as he saw Naruto's eyes. Naruto, maybe you should lie down, Caitlin said as Naruto's eyes honestly scarred her. I feel fine, babe. Naruto said as he ran out running past Wells. Was his lightning white and red? Harusan thought in fear as Naruto was tapping into the negative speed force. Was his lightning different? Felicity asked Cisco. Felicity, call Oliver Queen and Caitlin, call Barry, we need to stop Naruto immediately, Harusan said as he was afraid Naruto would come after him. Why? Cisco asked. Because he's been affected, I'm surprised he didn't kill Bivolo. Wells said, Naruto has some real anger in him, it's why he meditates, if Bivolo has uncaged Naruto's anger. He was saying as he'd seen Naruto lose his temper and it was something that surprised him. What he was worried about was Naruto's fully unleashed and untamed rage being released. How can any of them do anything? Oliver lost to Naruto in normal speed and he's faster than Barry, Felicity said. It sounds like a cold gun would come in pretty handy right now. Cisco said, getting a cold glare from Caitlin. Call Kushina, we'll need all the help we can get. Wells said as Naruto didn't attack his friends, meaning Naruto was only going after people who have angered him. Look for Eeling's current location. Naruto might be going after people who he feels intense anger for. Caitlin looked down with worry for Naruto, not noticing her eyes changed again. Few hours later. Eddie had just dropped off Iris and was going home till he was ripped out of his car. I want information, Thon, Naruto said, vibrating his vocal cords. St. Abs. Have you found him yet? Kushina said as she was trying to help create a machine to help Naruto, glad Naruto's mask was capable of scan so they could see his eyes. Why are his eyes like that? She asked as Bivolo only made the iris of the eye red, not change the white turn black. We have no clue. Cisco said as even though it looked kinda cool it made Naruto look terrifying. Well, do something before he actually does kill somebody. Caitlin said, quickly working. Found him. Cisco said as they activated the GPS and mic in his suit to hear what was happening. With Naruto. Where is Eobard? Thon, Naruto asked Eddie. Who the hell is Eobard? Harusan froze in terror, wondering how Naruto knew about his name. Something, my powers informed me of. Where is he? Thon, Naruto asked him angrily. I have no idea what you're talking about. Eddie asked, about to fire his gun but was stopped as Naruto disassembled it. Not the answer I was looking for. You're the only connection I have to the man in yellow and you're going to tell me. Naruto said. Man in yellow? Barry asked as he walked into the cortex. How does Naruto know about him? He asked, his mind working faster than it has in a long time. Who cares? Stop him before he kills Eddie. Harusan said as Eddie needs to live just so he could. Barry nodded and ran off and arrived at the scene. Godspeed, you need to stop, he said as Eddie was unconscious. He had to know Flash, he has the same name as that man, Naruto said. Who? Barry asked. The man who killed your mother and put your father in jail. He's a speedster like us and he's related to Eddie. His name is Eobard Thon. Barry felt some hope in his life as he finally had a name for the man who killed his mother. How do you know this? He asked him. The Speed Force, Barry, the source of our powers. When I was in my coma I was in it. It taught me about what it was and its principles. What are you talking about? Speed Force, source of our powers. You're not making sense. Barry said, wondering if Naruto lost it. We're much more than people who can run fast, Barry. Naruto said. Eddie began groaning as he began to regain consciousness. "Welcome back to the living thon. Now tell me where Eobard is?" Naruto asked as his body sparking with red and white lightning. Before Eddie could say anything, an arrow was fired that wrapped Naruto up in rope. "Go!" Oliver said in his arrow attire as Eddie ran away. Naruto merely vibrated as the wire dropped to the ground. "How screwed are we?" Barry asked Oliver. "Very," Oliver said. Naruto growled as his lightning began to expand around him and his surroundings. "You just cost me the only lead I have to getting his father out of prison, to have his family back," Naruto said, his eyes glowing red. "Why do you care so much?" Barry asked. "Because he is a threat to not just your life but all our lives," Naruto said, as time travelers staying in a time that wasn't their own was a major threat as they changed things more and more than anything, meaning the future was constantly in flux, and even though it was always changing based on how people choose to live, too many changes caused it to be unstable. "You need to calm down, you're not well," Oliver said. "I feel fine, better than I ever felt before," Naruto said, running off. What the hell did he mean? Barry asked himself. Hara-san was sitting in silent panic as the Speed Force was basically using Naruto to find him, and if that happened it meant his life was in jeopardy. He subtlety went to the time vault and asked Gideon if Naruto still guaranteed his future, and it still did. The Speed Force is a wild card now, he thought, as if it did teach Naruto anything he needed to be even more careful. Who's he mad at now? Cisco asked as there was a lot of people. Me or Ealing for what we did to Grodd are at the top of that list, Hara-san said as he hoped Naruto didn't push him into. Or maybe his father. Kushina said. What did he do? Caitlin asked as Naruto seemed to have a great relationship with Minato. No idea. Kushina said as Naruto seemed to distance himself from Minato at a certain point and they assumed it was just PBRTY coming in as he returned to normal. Oliver and Barry have very low chances of beating him. I'll call Cal almost as fast as these two, she said as Cal was bulletproof, meaning Naruto couldn't do much damage. Everyone jumped as Naruto sped in and Wells was gone. Dr. Wells! Caitlin screamed. Few seconds later. You know, I honestly tried not to hate you, but you hurt Grodd. Naruto said as his lightning danced around him. Naruto, you know that wasn't my intent. When I found out just what Eiling was doing, Hara-san was saying till Naruto punched him and sent him flying out of his chair. Grodd was a child, he may have been a gorilla, but he didn't deserve to be tortured because we both know Eiling used a cattle prod and abused Grodd, Naruto said as he shocked Wells. Naruto, stop. Cal said as he came in. Oh, the boy in blue has come. What come to berate me, talk me down before someone sucker punches you, Naruto said. You're not well, you need to calm down. I'm perfectly calm. Maybe you should be looked at. I mean, I didn't abandon my family, basically passing her off to another family, Naruto said, chuckling a little. Don't go there. You don't understand. No, I don't understand how some guy who's always spouting off about goodness doesn't do SHT for the cousin who he abandoned. Tell me I'm wrong, Cal. Naruto said, deadly serious. I didn't abandon her, I gave her a chance to have a normal life. Maybe instead of a normal life all she wanted was to be close to the only family she had left. What was it you say? BLD binds us while you spit on that UF moron, and that quote isn't always true. The bonds we forge with people are what bind us, he said angrily. Cal couldn't refute Naruto's points as they were very accurate, as he basically passed his cousin along, and as a result they didn't nearly have a close a bond as he'd have liked, and she was hiding who she was because of him instead of embracing it. Don't make me do this, Cal said as he sped behind Naruto and got him in a choke hold, but was then hit by Naruto as he vibrated out and vibrated his fist at a slightly lower speed to the point his fist was solid and punched Clark in the face, sending him flying. He's generating a lot of force with his hands, it's gonna hurt, Cisco said over Cal's earpiece. Naruto grinned as he threw his hands up, generating more lightning that seemed to take the shape of something. It looked like a beast, like a fox. I thought you said Naruto just had super speed. Dig said as he came when Oliver went to stop Naruto the first time. I've never seen anything like this. Harusan said in both amazement and fear. Naruto. Naruto looked down to see Caitlyn, Thea, Kara and Alex. You need to calm down. Caitlyn said as Thea had an arrow filled with horse tranquilizer and some of her formula of booze for Naruto as it should have been strong enough to weaken his system for the drag to work. Naruto floated down to them still inside the beast of lightning. Sorry Naruto. Thea said as she shot him. Naruto groaned as he fell as the arrow stopped his concentration on keeping the beast made. Then chains came from the ground and began wrapping around him. This has to work. Kushina said as she concentrated on holding Naruto still as Cisco ran out with a machine. It will, he just needs to see the right colors. Cisco said as he activated the machine which began flashing colors before Naruto passed out. Few hours later. I swear I am so hungover. Naruto asked as he hadn't felt like this in years and saw Barry next to his bed. Why are you here? He asked curiously. How are you feeling? Still feeling like going MMA on us? Cisco asked curiously. Dude, my mind feels like it was bashed in. How do you know who the man in yellow is? Barry asked as that question was burning in his mind since Naruto gave him the name. Like I told you man, I was in the Speed Force for months or longer. Time is trippy there, Naruto said as he sometimes got lost being there. Again with that? Barry asked him. The Speed Force is more than a force of nature or science, it's a living thing, Naruto said. Is he still crazy? He might not be. Barry, take it from me, I have seen a lot of crazy thing, this doesn't even register to me as odd, Cal said seriously. I think I can prove dash, Naruto said as he tried to get off the bed and fell. You wasted a lot of energy, go eat, rest, you need it. Caitlyn said as she checked his glucose levels. I think I'll need help. Naruto said as his legs felt shaky. I believe you have 4 or 6 women to do that. Well said before getting a look thrown his way. Sorry I couldn't resist, he said with a smirk. Look at this. Naruto said as he created a blue spiraling sphere. Wells took his glasses off as everyone looked at it. Is that chakra? Kushina asked as that seemed like MSTR level skill. Yeah, you wondered why my chakra was greater than yours, it's because I am from another world, technically like dimensional wise and not like Cal. Naruto said seriously. Cisco laughed before seeing his serious face. And no, I didn't pull a murder switcheroo and swap places with my counterpart or some other idiot, Naruto said, not realizing Harusan tensed. When I came here I merged with this world's Naruto and my powers and mind melded with his and it didn't fully awaken till a few good years till my teens, he said as simply as possible. It's like what merged yourself with you here and changed things, like a form of reincarnation and rebirth. Caitlyn asked as she did watch a lot of sci-fi with Cisco. Kinda, but that'd mean I needed to die. I just merged with this world, Naruto not being one or the other, Naruto just having both experiences of both of them, Naruto said as that was his explanation as he still had the early memories of young Naruto. What if you didn't just merge with your counterpart, what if you changed everything, birthing a new universe? Harusan said as he knew about the multiverse and time travel was loose with them. Like a universe where he's here, a universe that has a Naruto Namikaze. Barry asked as he studied multiverse theory when he heard it in a few movies. Yes, it goes with the theory of the multiverse where certain decisions or choices create other worlds or other timelines, these things become loose, I mean. Harusan said as he hated this with time travel, and there might also be a universe where he never came here, meaning the only speedster might be Barry, he said as he was glad he wasn't stuck in that timeline. Well, whatever the reason, you're here and our friend. That ain't changing. Cisco said. Thank you. Now I am going to order either something for dinner or breakfast and get some sleep. Naruto said as he was starving. Naruto, before you go, this other world you are from, what's it like? Cisco asked, dying to know. Ninjas, elemental powers, giant demons among other things. I was an orphan there, never getting to even have a day with my parents before they died. Naruto said, making them all go quiet. That sounds awesome. Cisco said as Caitlyn slapped him. And I thought I had it bad. Barry said as Naruto lost both his parents and was orphaned. Same. Oliver said having newfound respect for Naruto. Still have a tough time believing the Speed Force is alive, Barry said as he was a man of science. Believe it. Naruto said coming in with a plate of fat unhealthy food with a smirk saying the thing his younger self used to say. Let's go. Caitlin said as she helped Naruto to his apartment. Kate you don't dash, Naruto got to say before Caitlin slapped him. That was for scaring me. Caitlin said and then pulled him into a kiss, and that's for coming back. She said with a smirk. I love my life here. Naruto said with a genuine smile. With Naruto. You sure you want to do this? Naruto said as Barry had apparently lost his powers while he was in Starling City and thought he was now faster than him. Prepare to be the second fastest man alive, Barry said with a smirk. At least for me it doesn't carry into section. Naruto said with a smirk. Ooh, feel the burn. Cisco said laughing. It's strange. Caitlin said as she looked at Naruto's cells next to Barry's. What? Cisco asked. Naruto's cells are acting like Barry's before Blackout took his powers, Caitlin said. Maybe all he needs is a push to gain more speed, HAREM said needing Naruto to keep on improving. Yes but watch what I saw when some of Barry's energized cells are introduced close to Naruto's. Caitlin said as she put it on the screen and it seemed like energy was flowing from Barry's cells to Naruto's. He's absorbing the energy. HAREM said with a realization look. Awesome. Cisco said with a smirk. Naruto do me a favor and just relax calm your mind and just relax as you run, Caitlin said as Naruto did better instinctually. Okay, I'll be thinking of you then. Naruto said as he did as she asked as he and Barry started running. Oh Barry is catching up. Cisco said as Barry hit 540 miles an hour. Was. Well said reading Naruto's speed and it was slowly increasing, I wonder what he's thinking about, he asked the others. I think I know. Cisco said glancing at Caitlin. Naruto was currently thinking back on his life smiling at the pleasant memories he had. Holy SHT he just hit Mach 2.5 that's 857.5 miles, Cisco said as it was still rising. Go baby, go. Caitlin said in excitement. Dude just hit 890 miles an hour, Cisco said with a smirk. Okay, Naruto you've proven you're still faster, you can stop now. Caitlin said as Barry was at 535 miles an hour, and your cells are now like Barry's expelling more energy than even, she said with a smirk. All bow to the god of speed. Cisco said as Naruto and Barry walked into the cortex. That sounds a little conceited, Naruto said with a smirk. Man I finally thought I had an edge, Barry said with a sigh. Never think you have an edge over a person you share powers with man. Naruto said as speedsters were all the same and unique. Okay Mr. Reincarnated Ninja. Barry said as everyone had come to terms with Naruto's origin. Hey it's kept you out of the fire hasn't it? Naruto said with a smirk. Suddenly there was a beeping and Caitlin saw it was a reminder. We need to get the DNA thing for the arrow Felicity wanted us to examine that killed Sarah. Caitlin said as she downloaded the information. Does this mean a field trip to Starling? Cisco asked in excitement wanting to see the arrow cave. Yep Barry you take Cisco while I take this beauty, Naruto said picking Caitlin up bridal style and walked her to the entrance. Just be sure it's just to Starling. You're going to. Barry said with a smirk. You are not carrying me like that. Cisco said as Barry just grabbed his shoulder and they ran. Where is everyone? HAREM said as he saw he was all alone. Starling City at Palmer Tech. Whew, that was fun. Caitlin said as they arrived. Glad I made your clothes friction-proof, Naruto asked as he saw the footage of Felicity taking her shirt off as it was lit on fire since Barry ran too fast. Shall we? Caitlin asked holding out her arm. We shall. Naruto said as they enter with Caitlyn's holding his arm with a smile, not noticing her eyes flash again. Whirlpool Inc. is still cooler than this place. Caitlyn said. Whirlpool is better than everything. Naruto said, not bragging, but his parents' company was the best of the best. What are you guys doing here? Felicity asked as they walked in. Whoa, sorry, took a wrong turn. Barry said as he and Cisco arrived. Ugh, why is speed travel so much smoother with Naruto? Cisco said as he felt like he was gonna puke but stopped it. I was going to just mail it. Felicity said as she was busy and held up a lot. We want to see the Arrow Cave. Cisco said with an excited smirk. Hold on. Naruto said, grabbing Caitlyn and Cisco. Familiarize yourself with the city, Barry, he said with a smirk. Follow me. Felicity said to them. Yes, we get to see the toys. Cisco said as Naruto ran them out of there. Arrow Cave. Don't touch that. Oliver said to Cisco, who was trying to touch his arrows. Or that, it's a bomb arrow. Naruto said with a smirk. Since when did we start selling admissions to the Arrow Cave? Roy asked curiously. We don't, see what you've done. Oliver said, looking at Felicity. This'll be a fun trip. Naruto said with a smirk. Barry, when you're done munching and being late, stick close to Oliver. I'm sitting back on this one, Naruto said over the comm, hearing Barry chewing on his food. Incredible. I have so many ideas for improvements. Cisco said, looking at Oliver's suit before seeing Roy's. And this. Oh, man. This is the bomb. And I mean, red is so much cooler than green, am I right? He said as he went over to Roy. Can we have him and Naruto? I'm starting to really like your team, Roy said as he had a good time when Naruto was here. Naruto came here, of course he did. What happened? Cisco asked curiously. Hey, what's that for? Caitlyn asked Felicity as she pointed at the salmon ladder. Distracting me from work. Felicity said as she thought back to all the times she stared at Oliver used it. Think I should get one? Naruto asked curiously. Yes. We need one immediately in the cortex. Caitlyn said quickly and loudly, biting her lip slightly. I was going to say for my apartment, but that works, gives me a reason not to wear a shirt. Naruto said. Felicity silently eyed him after that, making Oliver glare at him. You live in an apartment? Thought you'd have something like a penthouse or something. Roy asked him. It's large, put not penthouse level, I just like to live normal. I mean, what moron flaunts his wealth? Naruto said nonchalantly. Oliver felt eyes on him, and in Gotham a certain billionaire sneezed. So how does it feel to be a trillionaire speedster? Felicity asked curiously, as Naruto was basically famous and rich from all his work. Well, combine the wealth of my parents and mine, it's more, but I honestly don't care much about money. Naruto said. You're kidding, right? Roy asked, as most rich people tended to be douchebags or something like Oliver was when he was younger. Naruto really doesn't rely on his money either from his parents or what he gets. He and his parents use their fortunes to help others that need it. Caitlyn said, as Naruto's family was always kind to people and other businesses. Sounds like someone could have used your advice. Felicity said, glancing at Oliver. From him about what? Oliver asked her. I don't know, managing a company, trust, SEC, Felicity said plainly. Really? Oliver said. Caitlyn leaned into Felicity's ear. 16 long, 5 thick. She whispered with a smirk, seeing Felicity's face go red. You really need his advice, Felicity said with a blush. Well, we don't have a particle accelerator to help in some places. Naruto said with a smirk. Ooh, burned by the king. Cisco said with a laugh, and shut up as Oliver glared at him. He really does have a stick up his butt. He said, looking at Naruto. Told you. Naruto said with a smirk. Where's Dig? He asked. Running down a lead. Felicity said as she. Where? In Argus? I despise that place. Naruto said as Amanda Waller had been trying to get him even at a young age along with his parents to weaponize their weapons and agents. Join the club. Oliver said as he knew Amanda Waller for years. You know she tried to make me and my family design weapons for her. I despise Amanda Waller, injecting people with bombs in their necks or heads, keeping them in line, forcing them to do what she says. Amanda Waller is a demon in human skin, one I never want to see again. Naruto said angrily. Argus has a red alert, Felicity said as she picked it up. Barry, we're on. Naruto said as he grabbed his suit. On my way. Barry said over the comm. We'll meet you there. Oliver said as just as he was gonna get on his bike Naruto grabbed him and Roy. Argus. Whoa. Roy said as Oliver shook his head, fighting off the major rush he felt. You're welcome. Naruto said as they entered. Hey, Boomerang. He yelled, getting the guy's attention. Godspeed, heard about you. You look taller on TV, the boomerang-wielding man said with a smirk. You gonna come quietly or are we gonna dance? Naruto said. Let me think, no. The guy said, throwing down two boomerangs, one exploded making a bright flash and the other made smoke as he escaped. He's smart, he knew he was outnumbered and outmatched. Naruto said. Aw man, I missed everything. Barry said as he just arrived. Then stop being so late, Naruto said as he wondered how he was so late for stuff. You clearly don't know me, as being late, for some reason seems to be my thing. What are you doing here, Godspeed? Field trip with your sidekick? Lila asked, looking at Barry. Better question, who attacked you? Oliver asked curiously as they left Argus. And don't tell them it was an internal Argus matter. Dig said. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 4. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author pyrohelixdrago on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.